Coming up on Focal Point. A headstone makes the headlines.
When we learned that there was a monument out there that belonged on a grave, then we wanted, of course, to see what we could do to put it where it belonged.
The Detroit Symphony Orchestra organized Detroit Harmony, an initiative to get instruments in the hands of inner city kids. I will tell you about it next on Focal Point.
Rain couldn't stop the Izzone campout from happening this year, and it certainly couldn't stop the record number of students that bought tickets to the Izzone. That story coming up. And one student's experience with COVID-19 on campus.
It's like, this room is like really disgusting. Like, I can't live like this.
Focal Point starts now.
Hello and welcome to Focal Point. I'm Aisha Johnson.
And I'm Molly Gundry. 50,000 students return to the MSU campus with one condition: they get vaccinated. According to the MSU dashboard, 90% of students, faculty, and staff have been vaccinated. But what happens if students still get sick?
Right, because that's what happened to Madison Rose. Even though the sophomore was vaccinated, she caught COVID, and her experience with the MSU protocols was not good.
In a year and a half, thousands of students roam MSU again. But the return has not been very smooth for sophomore Madison Rose.
Because I think it's really messed up that I was walking around, like literally going places and living my life for like 3 days with COVID.
She felt she was doing everything right, but she got sick.
Yeah, it was not my best moment. I thought I was like out of the woods with COVID. Like, I thought I would never get it. Because I had been so careful, like during like when we were under lockdown and all throughout that summer and last year too, and nope.
She was told to quarantine here at Hubbard Hall.
Like, okay, you have to come to Hubbard, and then I had to walk 30 minutes to Hubbard.
She had no medicine and felt like she had no direction.
I swear to God, I was like on my deathbed, and I like checked their paper for like medicine basically. Or like, not medicine, for like a medical contact, and there was simply nothing.
Rose wrote an article about her experience for the state news.
I think as soon as I didn't get called about like me having COVID, I was like, I want to write about this.
Because she spent hours on hold waiting for help.
And then like triage, if you want to call them, it's like a 2-hour wait. Oh, they need to get more people for triage too.
And on top of that, her quarantine room seemed almost unlivable.
The little like cap on the sink was gone, so when like you like, it would just like spray everywhere. I might have a video. Also, it was like the pipe was leaking, so there'd be like puddles on my floor. Oh, and when I would open the bathroom door, just like wood would fall on my head.
After Rose wrote the article for the state news newspaper, Assistant Director of Communications Bethany Balks admitted that putting Madison in that room was a mistake.
There was a mistake made, and the room that the student was given was not a fully cleaned room, and they should not have been put into that room.
Balks admits MSU needs to fine-tune its quarantine housing.
Now we have over 15,000 students that may need quarantine and isolation housing. So certainly, as we've expanded our services and the students, we found some things that we need to fine-tune a little bit better.
For Madison, it doesn't make her feel any better.
You know, there are times I was ready to like break out of there.
For more details about Madison's experience and to read her state news column, click on statenews.com.
It's been weeks, and some dining halls on campus are still closed. That problem is a worker shortage. Now, MSU is offering free shuttle service students to get a lift to an open dining hall. The shuttles run every day from 5:30 p.m. to 9:45, from Landon to Brody Hall, and from Shaw to Phillips. Also, the Roost at the MSU Union has been reopened as a dining hall option for those with a meal plan. MSU's Kat Cooper says that she sent out an email this week inviting faculty and staff to volunteer at the dining halls.
It was really intended as an invitation, not as a demand, not even as a request, but an invitation. If you have the inclination and the time, we would love to share your time and talents.
Cooper said around 40 people have signed up to volunteer so far.
We talked about this at the top of the show today. Michigan State issued a mandate for everyone on campus to be vaccinated by the end of August. And with over 90% of students, faculty, and staff getting their doses, what about those who declined to get the shot? The university said it was offering a few exemptions for reasons like religious beliefs, medical, or if a student is working completely online. Of the 4,357 requests, 3,362 were approved and 274 were denied. Another 159 were denied but filed with appeals. Those that were approved are required to participate in the early detection program. MSU Deputy Spokesperson Dan Olson says students and employees were given multiple opportunities to come into compliance with the university's vaccine requirements.
If they have failed to do so for students, they're going through that Dean of Students disciplinary process, and sanctions can range all the way up to expulsion from the university.
Students who know of any falsified vaccine verification can make a confidential complaint to the misconduct hotline at misconduct.msu.edu so officials can determine the next steps to verify information.
It's been over a year since MSU students have cheered on their Spartans in the Breslin Center. The large turnout at the Izzone campout last Friday showed just how excited students are to get back to basketball season.
We missed out last year.
It happens every year, but this year seems special.
Also just excited to be back out here with my friends and the rest of the Izzone.
And it's called the Izzone Campout.
How y'all feeling tonight?
Students pitch a tent on Munn Field and spend the night filled with activities, including meeting the team and watching fireworks. And it's all to ensure a season-long seat inside the Breslin called the Izzone.
After being canceled last year due to COVID, there was nothing stopping the campout from happening this year. Coach Izzone took to Twitter to say regardless of the weather conditions, the campout would still be happening. And as you can see, it still is. It's just a little wet.
We're still drying off a little bit. You know, it was raining while we were setting up our tent, so that wasn't very enjoyable, but hopefully the rain will hold off.
For Sean Quinn, this is his first time here. Last year was canceled because of the pandemic.
My favorite part is being out here with the team, with Tom Izzo.
Tonight, Sean has a goal in mind.
Well, I already got a picture with Coach Izzo, and I want to get a picture with every other basketball player.
And players Davis Smith and Tyson Walker helped with that goal.
My favorite part.
Sean isn't the only one who's never been to the campout before. With a record of 5,000 students buying an Izzone membership, the campout is flooded with new faces. The Izzone campout started the season off with a bang, and hopefully that spark will continue throughout the season. The Spartans tackle on Kansas for their first game of the season on November 9th.
Safety is always a top priority for workers at the MSU Surplus Store and Recycling Center. And now a new robotic machine will make it even more safe. It's a robotic sorter. The machine scans every plastic or metal piece and places them in the right bins. Not only is the robot efficient, it also protects workers from stray pieces of glass, medical waste, and other sharp objects. They used to handle most of all the materials that come down the conveyor belts. The center handles 9 million pieces of recyclables a year. Recycling Director David Smith is excited about the center's new machine.
And behind me is our new robotic sorting technology from AMP Robotics. It's going to allow us to more efficiently sort recyclable materials from our material recovery facility.
The new addition was made possible by several grants totaling $180,000. An MSU alum has one goal in mind: to give kids in Detroit a chance to play music.
He's making beautiful music for those kids by conducting an instrument drive. So what can you do to help? Riley Wolfbauer is live at Meridian Winds in Okemos. He has details on the big opportunity where folks can donate. Riley?
Yes, Molly, this is just the start of the instrument drive. You can bring your instruments here to Meridian Winds, and you'll also have another big opportunity at the end of the month. There will be a donation truck at Munn Field when Michigan State takes on Michigan in football.
Damian Crutcher is used to conducting.
To be in music as a young kid at Cass Tech, I started playing French horn, which opened up a whole new world for me.
But these days, he's conducting a symphony of generous people.
And as you can see, we got a lot of instruments, and everyone wants to be involved. Everyone is gracious.
Crutcher teaches music at Wayne State. He's a guest conductor all over the state, but today, he's arranging instruments, hundreds of them.
Well, let me grab something that looks like an instrument.
Damien started an instrument drive called Detroit Harmony, and this is the beginning of the collection. It's Damien's dream for every Detroit youngster who wants to play music get that chance.
And I want to make sure that every student in Detroit, all 120,000 plus, have that same opportunity to enjoy music, to be in a band, orchestra, DJ, music production.
The first keyboards, drums, and horns come from McCourt's music. Dan McCourt helped get the drive started.
A lot of people, it's taken them through some really, really tough times. It gets them through some tough times. So to think that every kid in Detroit could have that chance is just an amazing opportunity.
It's Damien's hope to change lives with music, and he's teamed up with Paul DeRubies to make it happen.
Our goal for the month of October is to receive in donations 2,500 instruments, and ideally they can be new, but they can be used. We'll get them refurbished.
On October 30th, Crutcher and Detroit Harmony are partnering with Michigan State University and the University of Michigan to have an instrument drive during the MSU and Michigan football game. There will be a truck on campus for any instrument donations.
Crutcher can't believe how many people have donated instruments so far.
People are dropping off instruments across the state, so that's very exciting. I think we can meet our goal of 2,500 instruments by the end of the month.
And don't expect this song to end anytime soon. Crutcher will keep the drive playing until every Detroit child has an instrument in their hands.
This is just the beginning, and it's going to be a life-changing experience for all these kids.
Good kids, thank you.
Meridian Winds is one of the 25 drop-off points across Michigan, and they've already received about a half dozen instruments, and here's one of the ones that they've already received. And they will take instruments in any condition, and Detroit Harmony will continue their work for as long as there are kids in Detroit who are in need of instruments. You can learn more about Detroit Harmony at dso.org/Detroit Harmony. Reporting live in Okemos, I'm Riley Wolfbauer. Back to you guys in the studio.
Riley, I always wanted to learn how to play an instrument.
Yeah, I really don't think I'm musically gifted, but maybe I'll try it out.
No problem. Coming up, you wouldn't expect a headstone to make headlines, but it did, right here in Okemos.
And Chalamet makes his way to the big screen. Chandra Fleming joins us with the latest in entertainment in just a couple of minutes.
And I'm Asia Lawrence, and you're looking at a beautiful live shot of Lansing, Michigan, but it might be time to put on the jackets. When we come back, we'll take a look at the week ahead as we move into cooler fall temperatures. Stay with us.
October is National Bullying Prevention Awareness Month. In 2019, 1 out of every 5 students report being bullied. Of those students being bullied, 13% were made fun of, called names, or insulted. More cases reported that some students were subject of rumors, physically and emotionally harassed, or excluded from activities. Students who experience bullying are at an increased risk for depression, anxiety, sleep difficulties, and lower academic achievements. Students who experience bullying can reach out to a trusted adult to talk about it and get support. Always remember to
speak out,
stand up,
stop bullying.
This month reminds us that students, parents, and teachers play a role in emphasizing positive change. MSU provides mental health and counseling services for students on campus.
We saw temperatures around 70 degrees.
But it might be time to bring out the jackets. Asia Lawrence is live in the studio as we look at this week's weather. Asia, how's it looking?
Starting on the West Coast, they are expecting a big storm this weekend. They've been in a 10-year drought, and this might help them. 3 to 7 inches of rain is expected to fall in parts of California and Oregon. Looking to the east, temperatures are cooling, but not in Florida. Highs in the 80s and 90s down south. Closer to home, it is a nice day in the Great Lakes area, but a bit chilly after the front moved through last night. We didn't get a lot of rain, but it did cool things off with temperatures down in the 40s. Currently, around here, mostly in the 40s to start things off. It will heat up in the 50s today. Overall, a pleasant day. And coming up is our 7-day forecast. Most of the week we will have chances of rain, but it won't be a complete washout every day, except for possibly Monday. But temperatures are getting back to normal, which means much cooler than we've been enjoying. That's your weather forecast. Spartans, make sure to have your jackets and hats on this weekend because it's going to be a chilly one. Back to you.
Thanks, Asia. It made a lot of headlines last week. A headstone missing for 150 years and now found. You won't believe what it was being used for.
Focus Point, Reagan Holgate is live at Mount Hope Cemetery where the gravestone has been restored in its rightful place. Reagan?
Yes, thank you, Molly. The newly restored gravestone is right here behind me. And as of last week, nearly 80 different news outlets have picked up this story, with even some being worldwide, all because of where it was found and what it was being used for.
This was completely underground.
It's the burning question that has haunted Loretta Stanaway for months.
Was this the right monument for the right person? Was this person actually buried here?
In 1875, Lansing city workers moved all the bodies and headstones from Oak Park Cemetery to the new Mount Hope Cemetery. Well, all of the headstones except for one.
His, somewhere in the transition, ended up missing.
Peter J. Weller's headstone had been missing for a century and a half.
146 years. This is the monument for Peter J. Weller, who was a pioneer in the city and a Lansing businessman.
The stone surfaced in an online estate sale auction.
A former Lansing resident living in California saw it and thought, you know, that's a pretty weird thing to have on an auction site, and maybe it belongs on a grave.
After doing some digging, Loretta found out the headstone has quite a history. An Okemos family had been using it for decades as a perfect cold stone to make fudge.
So hot.
And for those who make fudge daily, like here in Holt, the marble makes all the difference.
Gonna cause it to get thicker.
The white marble slab at the backside was used for many, many years in that family to make fudge for the holiday season.
It is something of a mystery. The family has no living relatives, so the Friends of Lansing's historic cemeteries took over. They held a dedication in his honor.
We also talked about the life of Mr. Weller and his descendants and what they contributed to the city.
They, of course, had to have some fudge.
I said, don't worry about it. You just take your fudge. That's what you need.
But for Loretta and the rest of the Friends, it's not just about the sweet treat.
We didn't want him just to be known for the guy whose monument was used to make fudge.
It's about remembering Peter J. Weller and his family.
They were bankers, they were business owners.
He is now home at Mount Hope Cemetery with his 2 daughters and daughter-in-law.
I think there's a wholeness, a restoration, a correcting of some wrongs.
Leaving behind a sense of closure.
I think he feels restored.
Loretta says there's a feeling of wholeness now that they've brought the family back together. The Weller family line has quite the history, and because of this situation, their mark on society many years ago has resurfaced. Live in Lansing, I'm Reagan Holgate. Molly, back to you in the studio.
Yes, thank you, Reagan. That was an awesome story. Molly, what's going on with Shamalit?
He is really blowing up lately. I have seen him everywhere, and we're going to see him some more. He returns to the big screen with 2 new movies. Chandra Fleming is live in the newsroom with this week's Entertainment Minute. Chandra?
This week in entertainment, we have big releases and big changes in Hollywood.
This is my June.
You can't avoid Timothée Chalamet this weekend as he appears in 2 new movies. The first film, Dune, follows a gifted young man named Paul Atreides as he travels to the most dangerous planet in the universe.
This is an extermination. They're picking my family off one by one.
He fights for the future of his people and tries to save the most precious natural resources. Will he be able to do it? Chalamet's next movie is The French Dispatch by Wes Anderson. The film has been coined a love letter to journalists and bringing stories based on the New Yorker to life in a fictional French town. With the star-studded cast of Bill Murray, Tilda Swinton, Owen Wilson, Frances McDormand, and many more, this film is sure to be a hit.
Just try to make it sound like you wrote it that way on purpose.
The International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees finally reached a deal with Hollywood producers, avoiding a strike that could have stopped production across the country.
It's been really tough, I think, for a lot of people in the industry.
On Saturday, both parties agreed on a new contract. The contract ensures meal breaks, 54-hour weekends, 10-hour breaks between shifts, and increased pay for production workers. It's a good weekend for those in front of and behind the camera. And speaking of cameras, I brought mine to the Meridian Mall. No, not to take a picture of the food court, but for a few selfies. Take a look. Scott Moore and Deion Chisholm are doing all they can for the local economy.
They've been loving it, and it's been pretty cool.
And they're doing it where there is space, the Meridian Mall.
I like the concept of them bringing all the entertainment to the mall because you get more traffic, and it's kind of free. It helps small businesses with marketing.
This is their latest venture, a selfie museum.
We have over 30 different things that you come in and you take different selfies in.
Moore says that selfies are still popular and being 10 minutes away from the MSU campus is a big draw. And they opened it during the pandemic. Oops, sorry, didn't see you there. I was too busy taking a selfie. The venue opens up Thursday through Saturday with a $15 charge for adults. Children under the age of 5 are able to attend as well for a $10 charge. And about a minute walk past the food court is another store the two entrepreneurs have opened.
So basically what we do here at Ballsy Balls, we get inside the balls, they strap in, knock each other around, they play soccer, we play organized games over there. Pretty much a fun sport. We also got Nerf guns we do in the back, they do Nerf wars.
The Selfie Museum also gives customers a chance to be interactive. Your selfie can look like you either came right out of a Barbie or Ken box. It also has backgrounds like a two-dimensional room drawn with a Sharpie. Moore goes on a search for bargains for the props.
Well, I travel to Salvation Armies, Habitats for Humanity, Goodwills, and I find props. And like if I get an idea for a room, I'll put all those together and I create a scene.
Moore is very happy with the support the community has provided.
We were pretty nervous about it, but everybody's been very welcoming. They've been loving it.
Your next mall trip is waiting around the corner. In Okemos, Chandra Fleming for Focal Point News. Large groups can rent out the Selfie Museum for $100 an hour. Ballsy Balls can be found in Meridian Mall and on Facebook at Ballsy Balls. That's what's happening in entertainment this week. I'm Chandra Fleming. Molly and Maisha, back to you.
Thank you, Chandra. That place seems really cool. I might have to check it out.
I know, I might have to join you. Coming up in sports, the big rivalry game against U of M is next weekend during the holiday weekend.
Ian Gilmore will give highlights from hockey, men's and women's soccer, and this week's sports update. Stay tuned.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and if we're going to do it right. This means no more pink washing. Pink washing is using breast cancer for profit. It's a company putting a pink ribbon on their product and calling it activism. Now the question is, what can we do? Number 1, buy products that contribute a substantial amount to breast cancer research, like Ralph Lauren or Peloton. Number 2, shop at small businesses owned by breast cancer survivors. Number 3, donate directly to organizations like the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. And number 4, the most important, don't just be aware of the disease, be aware of the people who have it. Have empathy and stay informed. Let's do Breast Cancer Awareness Month the right way.
Welcome back to Focal Point. I'm Ian Gilmore with the latest in sports. The MSU football team was ranked inside the top 10 for the first time since 2015 last week. They faced another stern road test, this time against the Indiana Hoosiers. Let's start in the first half. Cal Halliday picks off Jack Tuttle, just the quarterback to beat. He takes it to the house and gives MSU the lead early on, 7-3. Later on now, Peyton Thorne drops back, looking for the end zone, and wide open is Tyler Hunt. The converted punter gets his first ever MSU touchdown, and MSU in the driver's seat, but Indiana pressing late. Tuttle pitches to Stephen Carr, and he gets into the end zone, but Indiana does not get the 2-point conversion. MSU holds on to win that one 20-15, and now Mel Tucker and company turn their attention to the bye week.
We got a bye, and so we'll rest up. We got some things we need to fix and correct, and we'll do that, and then we'll be ready for the next one, which we all know what that one is.
Oh yeah, Mel, we all know what that one is. Of course, the next game is against Michigan on October 30th. And if Michigan beats 3-3 Northwestern this week, that MSU U of M matchup will be the first top 10 meeting between the two since 1964. Now the MSU men's basketball season is less than a week away, and this week the media was invited for the annual team preview. MSU is coming off a topsy-turvy year. They lost in the first 4 of the NCAA tournament last year, and now they're unranked to start the season for the first time since 2012. A lot of unknowns surround head coach Tom Izzo and his squad, but they're confident about where they're at.
What I didn't know about this team would be how would they practice every day, you know? I look back on last year and we just had some lapses, you know, but I don't blame the players and I don't even blame the coaches.
I think we're coming together pretty well. I think it's going to be a very exciting year.
This year, you know, right away, built the chemistry. We've seen each other every day. There was times where the whole team be at my apartment with me, Malik, Mahdi, and Davis, just watching basketball games for the finals and stuff like that.
We have a lot of smart players and guys that can make plays for other guys. You know, can shoot it, can put the ball on the floor, and it's something that we're gonna that's gonna be our game this year, is sharing the ball.
We're gonna be really good. No one knows it yet, I feel like, but it's perfectly fine that way. Just because we're gonna surprise a lot of people how hard we're gonna play, how well we're gonna defend, how well we're gonna shoot. So I can't wait for it.
We can't wait for it either. Tyson Walker, he's going to be a fun one to watch. The team's first game is an exhibition against Ferris State next Wednesday. The MSU hockey team split their first series of the season with Air Force. This weekend, Miami of Ohio was the opposition. Mount Ice Arena was bouncing last weekend, and it was bouncing this one again. Michigan State, they have some renovations going on in Munn, but it's worried about the ice right now. There's Davidson. He had a great weekend against Air Force, and he gets the one to tie it up for Michigan State early on in the third period. Now later in the third period, looking for the winner. Across to Mittendorf, and Missendorf snipes one in the top corner, gives Michigan State the win with just 5 minutes left to go in the third period. Dayton Cole, he's got a progressing team, but that's okay for now because they are winning.
There's a lot we can learn in this game, a lot we can take out of it, and it's you're going to learn if you win, lose, or draw, but it's a lot more fun when you win to learn some stuff.
MSU has their first road trip of the season this weekend. They're on the East Coast to take on UMass Lowell. Game 1 of 2 is tonight. The men's soccer team went into last weekend with just 3 regular season games left. The Ohio State Buckeyes came to town Sunday to try and spoil Senior Day. 11 seniors were being honored with their friends and family in attendance at DeMartin Stadium. Will Perkins, one of them. And he was getting to the byline early on, but Noah Lawrence comes out and claims that one. The stalemate wouldn't last for too long, though. Michigan State now late first half. Michael Miller knocks it back across the goal. Mutatu is saved off the post, but Vedad Kovac is there to tidy things up and give Michigan State the 1-0 lead. Now it's all about keeping the clean sheet. Lance McGrain, in his first ever start at DeMartin Stadium, comes out, gets fouled. He was confident all day long and gets the clean sheet for Michigan State, and they win 1-0. And head coach Damon Rensing is encouraged by the late season signs his squad is showing.
So all in all, we're 2-2-2 in the conference. We're 500 overall with one of the hardest strength of schedules in the country, and resting up for Maryland.
The team's final game of the season is on Sunday. They play at home against Penn State at 1 o'clock on Big Ten Plus. Finally in sports, volleyball head coach Kathy George got her 300th win last night as a Spartan. It came in dramatic fashion on Wednesday night, actually. MSU knocked off number 7 Purdue for the historic victory. So shout out Kathy George as she just keeps adding to that long list of accolades. That's it for sports this week. I'm Ian Gilmore. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Ian. And finally tonight, with Halloween just a little over a week away, fans of the holiday can visit the Ingham County Fairgrounds to catch more than 5,000 pumpkins glowing at an event called Jack-O-Lanterns Unleashed. An expert carving team is showcasing their best pumpkin designs at this family-friendly Halloween experience. The pumpkins come in various themes like dinosaurs, carnival, and under the sea. Some work even includes references to Michigan's landmarks. Aside from the pumpkins, visitors can purchase merchandise such as special event sweatshirts and fall-themed food for sale. The event runs Thursdays through Sundays until the end of October. Ticket prices range from $10 to $22 and can be purchased online at fair.ingham.org. I am super excited for Halloween, I can't lie. What are you wearing?
Me and my friends are actually going as the cast of Shrek, so that should be fun. What about you?
Really, really fun. Oh, I'm just going to be an auntie. That's it for this week's edition of Focal Point. I'm Aisha Johnson.
And I'm Molly Gundry. From all of us here at Focal Point, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time. Now we leave you with the sounds of the MSU Symphony Band.